Yesterday I started on my left. I'm going to start on my right today. I'm going to give Honorable Mente, Honorable Madlala, Honorable Isaac. Please, a few questions. May I ask, colleagues, I know you're passionate about these things. Your answers are long. Please stick to the question and answer. I know, especially when it comes to money, I can see how much it stresses you. It stresses us too, as you have seen, but let us stick to it. I'll ask similarly of the members so that we can leave here before 6 o'clock. Otherwise, we're going to be here for long. Thank you, Honorable Mente.
Thank you very much, Chair. Once more, now good afternoon. Again, it's Ntombuvio Mente, a member of parliament deployed by economic freedom fighters. Now, I think we all now have dealt with the matter of asking yourself a question, what can be done differently? And I think you have figured out what is it that you have to do. Because the question that everyone has in the country is, why do we pay so much to other broadcasting corporations that are rendering services on a monthly basis? Then our people are paying to your competitors to consume whatever is on TV, yet SABC is failing to produce the level of content that the people want to consume. So those differences of what is it that you provide and what is it that is provided by your counterparts, I think you have figured it out, and also how to fund it. But my problem then becomes, Chair, the level of governance. We will agree, just like the Chair have narrated already, that in the very near future, we will not be having a public broadcaster if we continue at this trajectory. But the problem is governance. Are we not going to be here in the next 2 years with the very same approvals being subject of mismanagement? Hence, earlier on, I was asking a question of risk assessment and how to curtail such risks. We've already seen how the problem of contracts are drawn and how they are passed. Again, I'm going to pose that question in terms of our governance strategy. How are we doing at SABC? Because I am not satisfied, Chair. Earlier on, there was a question about consequence management on the transactions that were investigated before some ended up with the SIU. These were signs of a lack of governance because it had to take other institutions of the state to do the work which the SABC board, the management, and everyone should have done, and should have identified the shortfalls, should have identified the corrupt individuals, should have saved SABC of all the losses that it has suffered. Now, we don't want a situation where we are going to sit, Deputy Minister and the Minister going to Cabinet to make proposals in terms of what you are crying about on the PFMA, which we all agree. But we need to also have laws that will kind of like protect the citizens, because competitive bidding was drafted simply because we didn't want a situation where certain individuals will have business with the state and others will be excluded on the basis that they don't have proximity to leadership. They don't have proximity to politicians and all of that. So even if it's an idea that is pitched to you You don't have to necessarily expose the actual idea, but there should be a system which seeks to open up that can we get proposals for new shows. Then you know you have opened up for everyone, and then you start choosing. But to say someone pitched to us a very brilliant idea, that's well and good. But who else knows I can come and pitch an idea to SABC and get the job? So those are the kinds of things we really need to look into, because where many people do have ideas, but they don't have proximity to leadership. They don't have exposure to information. There's a public broadcaster that can take their ideas, which is hungry for their ideas, but they don't know how to get those ideas. There are no road shows to the deepest rural areas to ask people there, what is it that you can provide or you can offer to the SABC to be different? We have never done that. Yet there's an idea that there are things that can make the SABC different being brought by individuals. So let's just try to curb a situation which is going to land us in court simply because you didn't tell me. I will also take you to court. We can't find you with 10 people with new ideas, yet I've never known that SABC is looking for ideas. So some other things, as much as they look good, they are also disadvantaging a huge constituency of South Africa that is also hungry to work with SABC. Then the other one is, again, on the consequences. When the CEO responds to the question of people who resign at the peak of investigation, whether by SIU or by SABC or whoever, and then she says, no, there was not enough evidence to chase whoever left. But the fact that the person is living at the peak of an investigation, that on its own is a red flag. So there should be a system of not allowing things to just be. As much as everyone has a right to resign when they don't feel happy, but that right to resign is forfeited when there's a question, or rather there's a transgression to answer under your department. Whether at the end of the day you are going to be cleared, you must first answer your question. We can't have massive corruption of security tenders, equipment tenders that are questionable under your department, and then you are resigning, you are leaving. Yet the SABC is in court trying to set aside contracts that were signed in your department. Then you have a leeway to resign because you have a right. There's no such a thing. You can have that right, but there should be a system that is in place in order to not allow people off the hook. They can't resign at the peak of an investigation. And I want to understand what then is the system in place at SABC to look after such occurrences. And then on your annual report, there's something disturbing on post-employment medical aid benefits. I would like to get an explanation on that. So if you were, I take it if you were an employee of SABC, then when you leave with certain benefits. Yet the very same SABC can't hire new people, but it's paying people that were at SABC. That's my understanding. So I'd like you to clarify that. And if there is any other post-employment benefits, what are those? Who qualifies to get them? Thank you, Chair.